My name is Tiffany Seedard. I'm 34. And last month, my own mother looked me dead in the eyes and said something I'll never forget. She said, "Your sister gets sick just seeing your face. Pack your stuff. Tonight." No yelling, no debate, no hesitation. Just a final verdict. I didn't break down, didn't start screaming, didn't beg for answers. I just grabbed one bag, a worn gray duffel I've had since my college days, and walked out of the house I grew up in. No goodbye. My dad was standing right there in the hallway the whole time, watching me, silent. And he didn't say a single word. Not that night, not the next day, not for a full week. 7 straight days of nothing. Then suddenly, calls started coming in. My dad, my mom, my sister, one after another. I didn't pick up a single one. But here's the thing, that silence, it didn't destroy me. It woke me up. It gave me something I didn't have before. Clarity. But before I get into all that, just know this didn't start that night. Nah, this goes way back. Let me take you there. It was a Thursday evening in April. I'm at my parents' place, standing at the kitchen sink, washing dishes like it's just another normal visit. Same routine I've been doing for years since I moved out. Warm water running, garlic bread smell in the air, TV humming low in the background. On the surface, everything looks fine. But it's not. Because my younger sister, Jocelyn, is locked in my mom's bedroom, door shut, has been in there for over an hour. I can hear her voice through the wall. Ups and downs, emotional waves. My mom's voice? Calm, soft, like she's absorbing every word like a sponge, like always. I finish up the dishes, dry my hands, fold the towel out of habit, trying not to think too much about it. Then it happens. The bedroom door opens. My mom walks out first, and I instantly know something is off. Not angry off, not emotional off. Final decision off. There's a difference. She looks at me and says it flat, like she's reading something already decided. "Your sister says she gets physically sick when she sees you. You need to pack your things tonight." No pause, no softness, no discussion. Just that. I glance past her down the hallway. My dad is standing near the closet door, leaning there like he's been there a while. Eyes down, like he's trying to disappear without moving. I ask the only question that comes to my mind.
"Did anyone actually ask what happened between us?" My mom doesn't even blink. "I don't need to hear it." That was it. Game over. I folded the dish towel one last time, placed it on the counter like I always do, and walked upstairs. My old room is still there. Technically mine, but not really. I gave it up when I was 12 so my sister could have space to grow. Funny how that works. I pull out my old gray duffel from the closet. I don't even think while packing, just muscle memory. Clothes, essentials, done. Under 4 minutes. When I come back downstairs, my dad is still in the same spot. Still silent.
I walk right past him. Because, honestly, he's had decades to speak up. This moment wasn't going to fix anything. But here's the part nobody sees coming. This didn't start 3 minutes before I packed that bag. It started 3 days earlier. I'm at the dining table with my laptop open, helping my dad go through bank statements. Something I do every month, because numbers stress him out. I'm scrolling, and then I see it. One charge, then another, then a whole chain of them. Over $4,000 in 3 weeks. Luxury skincare, designer clothing sites, handbag resale shops. 0 business expenses. All on my parents' joint credit card. And it all traces back to my sister's startup business. She told them she needed it for inventory for her online boutique. Except nothing about it adds up. So I'd bring it up at dinner. Calm, no attitude, just facts. Dad, these transactions don't match any supplier records I can find. And that's when everything flips. My sister drops her fork. Not slowly, not casually, instant emotional shutdown. Her eyes fill up like a switch got turned on, and she goes straight into victim mode. You always do this. You always try to make me look bad. I shake my head. I'm not making anything up. These are the receipts. But she's already standing up, chair scraping back hard. I can't do this. You don't understand how hard I'm trying, and all you do is attack me. And just like that, she storms out. Door slams. Silence drops over the table. And my mom is staring at me like I'm the problem that just ruined dinner. No words needed. Because my sister never argued with logic. She didn't have to. She used emotion. And it always worked. That's the part that really messed everything up. And if I'm being real with you, this pattern didn't start there either. It started way earlier, when I was 12 years old. That was when my mom told me I'd be moving out of my own room. Not because I did anything wrong, but because my sister needed it more. Needed space, needed creativity, needed comfort. And me? I just adjusted, like I always did. Because in that house, I learned something early. Some people don't get treated equally. Some people get believed automatically. And some people just get expected to accept it. So yeah, when I walked out that night with that gray duffel bag, I wasn't just leaving a house. I was leaving a system I had been quietly living under my entire life. And for the first time ever, I didn't feel like I was losing something. I felt like I finally saw it clearly. All of it. No filters, no excuses. Just truth. I carried my bedsheets down 2 flights of stairs and turned a corner of the basement into my new room. No setup, no comfort, just whatever I could make work. That night, my dad stood in the doorway. He lifted his hand like he was about to knock, maybe say something, maybe stop me. But he didn't. He just paused for a second, then turned around and walked back upstairs. And that was it. That was my welcome to being pushed out of my own home. When I was 22, I graduated summa cum laude from Virginia Tech, project management major, double minor in data analytics and organizational communication. Big moment for me. My parents showed up to the ceremony, but they sat in the back, like guests passing through. They stayed maybe 10 minutes after the procession, then left early because my sister Jocelyn wasn't feeling well. Later, I found out it was just a headache. That's what I was competing with. At 28, I got promoted to senior project manager at Lockwell Infrastructure, youngest in company history. I called my mom right after, still standing in the parking lot, heart racing. She said, "That's great, honey, but your sister just got yelled at by her boss and she's really upset. Can I call you back?" She never did. And that became the pattern. Every win I had got smaller the second I tried to bring it into that house. Like my life only mattered if nothing else was happening around Jocelyn.
I kept chasing success anyway, because I really believed one day it would be enough, that they would finally see me. That was the lie I carried for 22 years.
And the night I left, I wasn't angry. I was drained. And there's a big difference. Anger still hopes things will change. Exhaustion already knows they won't. Let me talk about my sister for real. Not the family version. The real one. Jocelyn is 30. And yeah, she's smart. Like, really smart. But she's also mastered something else. She reads people fast. Knows exactly when to lower her voice, when to let her eyes water, when to pause just long enough to make silence feel like pain. It's not even calculated in a cold way. It's just what she learned works. Because in our house, it always worked. When her online boutique crashed last year and $12,000 of my parents' money disappeared, she didn't say, "I messed up." She said, "I'm scared Tiffany was right about me." And that one line flipped everything. My mom heard her daughter and stopped hearing anything else. Within minutes, she was on the phone with me. "Do you see what your criticism is doing to her? She's fragile, Tiffany. She's not like you." That sentence, "she's not like you," was the control system. It meant you handle it, she gets protected. It meant you stay strong so she doesn't have to be. But here's the truth nobody wanted to admit. People don't stay fragile forever by accident. If you never let someone sit in their consequences, they never learn how to stand in them either. Jocelyn wasn't built fragile. She was constantly rescued before she ever had to grow out of it. And as long as I stayed in that system, she always had a role to play against me. My stability made her instability look real. I was the proof that she couldn't cope. My mom? She used to be a teacher. 31 years at Maple Ridge Elementary. Award-winning. Loved her job. Loved the structure, the routine, the control of it all. But then, she retired. And the house got quiet. Too quiet. And suddenly, she wasn't needed anymore. So she found something else to manage. Jocelyn became her new classroom. Every crisis my sister created, the failed business, the breakup, the money issues, gave my mom something familiar again. Someone to fix, someone to protect, someone who made her feel useful. And me? I didn't need fixing. I had my life together, paid my own rent at 22, climbed corporate ladders by my mid-20s. No breakdowns, no emergencies, no chaos. And in a house like that doesn't get rewarded. It gets ignored. So they built rules without saying them out loud. Don't question Jocelyn. Don't challenge the story. Don't bring up money. And if there's tension, Tiffany will handle it. Because Tiffany is strong. I used to think that was a compliment. Strong, reliable, the one who doesn't fall apart. But over time, I realized something messed up about it. Strong was just another word for the one we can take from. And my mom didn't kick me out that Thursday because she truly believed Jocelyn was sick. She kicked me out because I was the only person left who could challenge the system she had built her whole life around. 3 years of planning, and this big anniversary party my sister had been hyping up for 6 months was just 3 weeks away. 60 guests, full family smile mode, everything had to look perfect on paper. But that's not where this really starts. Let me talk about my dad first, because I need you to understand something about him. He's not a bad man. Far from it. Gary Hales spent over 40 years fixing other people's problems. Pipes, leaks, broken systems. The guy could hear a dripping valve in the dark and know exactly what was wrong before sunrise. He sold his plumbing business at 62 cleared the mortgage, and retired into bass fishing, quiet mornings, and reruns on the Weather Channel. But inside his own house, he never fixed what actually mattered. His whole strategy for family conflict could be summed up in one line: don't upset your mother. He said it when I got pushed into the basement. He said it when my graduation got cut short. He said it every time I went to him with something that hurt me, something unfair, something that needed a father to step in. Don't upset your mother. Like her emotions were the foundation holding the whole house up. And everything else, my feelings, my place, my voice, was just furniture you could move around. I still remember being 14. Jocelyn broke a ceramic bowl, but somehow I got blamed for it. And I got grounded for a week. That night, my dad came down to the basement. He stood outside my door. I could hear him breathing, see his shadow under the crack of the door. He raised his hand like he was about to knock, then stopped and walked away. That was him in a nutshell. He loved me. I know that. But love without action just stays locked inside someone's chest. And my dad kept his there for 34 years. But something in him was starting to shift. I just didn't see it yet. The duffel bag I packed weighed about 11 pounds. I know, because the strap cut into my shoulder the exact same way it did when I moved into college at Virginia Tech. I left the house key on the kitchen counter next to a folded towel. No drama, no slam doors, just done. Like closing a book you've read one too many times. My car started right up. I drove out past the mailbox my dad used to repaint every spring, past the old oak tree where me and Jocelyn used to climb before things between us got weird. 40 minutes down Route 29. No music, no calls, just the road and my breathing. Steady. Almost too steady. When I got home, Marcus was already in the kitchen. He saw the duffel before he saw my face. Didn't ask a million questions, just looked at me and said, "I'll make coffee." That's all. I sat down at the table, my hands on the wood, and for a second, my hand went to my stomach. 10 weeks. A life I hadn't told my family about. Only Marcus knew. I was pregnant. And in that moment, staring at that bag like it didn't belong to me anymore, I made a decision. Not about them. Not about my sister. Not about my parents. About my child. They were never going to grow up thinking love had to be earned. Never going to wonder if they were enough. I reached over and shut my phone off. Screen went black. And I disappeared for 7 days. But here's what I didn't know yet. While I was gone, everything back at that house was already starting to fall apart. That anniversary party my sister had been building up like her big comeback, yeah, it was already cracking. 2 weeks before everything exploded, Jocelyn volunteered to plan my parents' 40th anniversary party. She said it at Sunday brunch like she was doing everyone a favor. I got this. Let me handle it. My mom lit up. My dad just nodded. Nobody mentioned the pattern. That every event she ever ran, baby showers, cookouts, block parties, ended the same way. Half done. And I was always the one cleaning it up. Always. This time, though, it was bigger. 63 guests. A private room booked at an Italian place downtown. Printed invites. Catering deposits. Real pressure. Real expectations. But Jocelyn had jumped on it right after her boutique collapsed.
and I see it now for what it was. Not a celebration, a comeback performance. Proof she could still be the one who delivers. A week before everything went sideways, my Aunt Ruth called me out of nowhere. Ruth is my mom's younger sister, a nurse, quiet, the kind of person who notices everything but says very little. We weren't close, mostly because my mom kept distance there. "Tiffany," she said on the phone, her voice steady, careful. "I need you to hear something. Your mother, she's repeating the same cycle our mother used on me." And just like that, everything I thought was normal started looking different.
I didn't really get what Aunt Ruth meant at first. Not yet. 3 days later, I was standing at a kitchen sink when everything in my life just shifted sideways. But her words stayed stuck in my head like they had weight. And Marcus, he said something that same week that kept replaying in my mind. "You've been carrying your whole life like it's a timeline in your head. Maybe it's time to actually write it down." At the time, I didn't realize it. But that timeline was about to become the most important project I've ever handled. If you've ever sat at a family table and felt like you were acting in a role nobody actually gave you, I see you. I've been there. Drop a comment. Have you ever been the invisible one in your own family? I read every single one. And if this is hitting close to home, hit subscribe. Because what happened over the next 7 days changed everything for me. Day 1. I wake up at 6 a.m., like usual. Shower, coffee, drive to work. Sit through a long 90-minute meeting about a highway project in Henrico County. And nobody knows I got kicked out of my family's house just 12 hours earlier. Nobody notices anything different.
That's the thing about people like me. We get good at hiding it, at showing up like nothing's broken, while everything inside is shifting. Day 2. Nothing. No call, no text. I check my phone morning, lunch, night. Still nothing. And honestly, I'm not shocked. Because I know this pattern. They're waiting for the usual ending. The version where I cave first, call first, apologize first, fix everything so everyone else can breathe again. Not this time. I don't reach out. Day 3. Still silence. Marcus watches me across the kitchen table. He's not the type to hover. Years of courtroom work taught him when to speak and when to just let things unfold. "You want me to call them?" he asks. "No," I say. "I want to see how long this goes." That night, after he's asleep, I sit at the kitchen table with my laptop open. I open a blank spreadsheet. Same kind I use for work risk tracking. I start building columns. Date, event. Who said what? What happened after?
Not because I'm trying to start a fight. Not because I want revenge. I just need to see it clearly. No noise, no emotion. Just facts on a page. 3 days in, not a single call. Not even from my dad. And that told me everything I needed to know. They weren't worried. They were waiting for me to come back and fall back into my role. Day 4. 11:47 a.m. My phone rings. Dad. For a second, I almost don't pick up. But something in me, some old version of myself, still answers. "Hey, Tiff," he says. Careful voice, measured, like he's walking on glass. "Hey, Dad." I can hear everything in the background.
TV on, dishwasher running, normal life from a house I was just pushed out of. "So, your mother's been upset," he says. "The anniversary party's in 3 weeks. We need to figure out seating."
I let it sit. 10 seconds of silence. Then I ask, "That's why you're calling me?" He clears his throat. "I'm calling because we need to talk about this." That's when it hits. "You had a chance to talk about it," I say. "You watched Mom tell me to pack my stuff, and you didn't say a word." "That's not fair, Tiff." "No," I cut in. "That's exactly fair." And I hang up. Marcus is standing in the doorway. He heard everything. He doesn't ask questions, just waits. "He called about seating arrangements," I say. Marcus lets out a slow breath. Not a laugh, more like disbelief. "My mother kicked me out because my sister said my face makes her sick. And 4 days later, my dad's priority is where people sit at a party." I close my laptop, hands flat on the table. The spreadsheet is still there in the background. 6 entries now. Dates, events, outcomes. Clean, simple, undeniable. And for the first time, I realize something. I'm not going back to make their world comfortable anymore. I'm done being the cushion in a family that keeps hitting me first. Marcus nods once. No speech, no advice, just understanding. Day 6. 2 missed calls from my mom. 1 voicemail. I don't listen right away. I leave it sitting there like something I already know the ending to. But Marcus accidentally taps it later, grabs my phone thinking it's his. And her voice fills the room before he can stop it. "Tiffany, this has gone on long enough." That same tone. Not sorry, not reflective, just controlled. Like a teacher calling a student back to order. "Your father and I want you at the anniversary. Jocelyn's ready to move past this. We all need to move on as a family." That's it. 43 seconds. I listened to it twice. Not because I didn't hear it, but because I needed to confirm I wasn't imagining it. And that's when I shift into work mode. I say to Marcus, "Look at this like a project." Because that's what it feels like now. The same part of my brain that spots bad scope in a contract is breaking this voicemail down line by line. Jocelyn is willing. Not, "We're sorry." Not, "We were wrong." Just, Jocelyn is willing. Willing to forgive me for something I didn't even do. Marcus tilts his head.
"That's not an apology," he says. "That's an assignment." And he's right. Show up, smile, stay quiet, play your part. And the deadline? The anniversary party. I save the voicemail, not as proof for a fight, as a reminder. Because I know myself. And I know the moment I start doubting again, I'll need to hear exactly how that sounded when my own mother chose control over truth. She didn't call to check on me. She called to manage me. And for the first time in my life, I could actually hear the difference. Day 7, 9:14 p.m. My phone lights up. Jocelyn. It's a long message, 4 paragraphs. I read it once, then again. But this time like I'm reviewing a business email with hidden agendas baked in. "Tiff, I know you're hurting. I'm hurting too. This has been hard on all of us." Same opening, same soft tone. Then it shifts. "Mom and Dad are devastated. I hate that this is happening right before the party. Can we please just be sisters again? I miss you." And then the hook. "The party won't feel right without you. Mom worked so hard. Let's just move past this for them." 4 paragraphs.
3 of them about the party. 0 about what she actually said. 0 accountability. Because in her version of the story, she didn't do anything wrong. It's just something that happened between us. Like I wasn't the one removed from my own home. I screenshot it and drop it into my spreadsheet. Row 14. At that point, it's no longer emotion. It's documentation. And it becomes clear. Jocelyn isn't trying to fix anything. She's trying to reset the scene. She needs me back in place so the family picture looks right again. Full table, no empty chairs, no questions asked. I don't reply. But later that night, after Marcus falls asleep, I pick up my phone and do something I probably should have done years ago. I call Aunt Ruth. She answers on the second ring, like she was expecting it. "I figured you'd call eventually," she says. Her voice is calm, grounded, the kind of calm you only get from someone who's seen this kind of family pattern before. Ruth is 58, a community nurse, the type of woman who can check your blood pressure while casually talking about her garden. Steady hands, steady voice, no fluff. "Ruth, I need to understand something," I say. "What did you mean when you said Mom is repeating what Grandma did to you?" She doesn't even pause. "Your grandmother had 2 daughters," she says, "Linda and me. Linda was the golden one. New shoes, praise, attention, everything came easy. I was the other one, the responsible one, the quiet one, the one told to keep things smooth." And just like that, I already know where this is going, because I've been living it. "Your mother didn't create this, Tiffany," she continues. "She inherited it. She grew up as the favored one, and she learned a simple rule. Families survive by choosing roles. One child gets protected, one child gets carried." My throat tightens. "Why didn't you say anything sooner?" I ask. "I tried," she says. 15 years ago. Your mom cut me off, called me jealous, said I was trying to break the family." A pause. "We only reconnected after I stopped pushing." Her voice drops a little. "The difference between me and you is I waited too long." Silence. Then she adds, "Don't make that mistake." I don't say anything for a while. Then she says one last thing before hanging up. "If you go to that party, don't go alone. And don't go empty-handed." I didn't understand what she meant yet. Not even close. A few days later, the invitation shows up in the mail. Cream envelope, gold lettering, fancy cardstock. One of those everything must look perfect type of invites. 40 years of marriage celebration. A full family event. And just like that, I knew the next chapter wasn't going to be quiet. Gary and Linda Hale. That's what's printed on the invitation. My name and Marcus's name are inside the envelope too, written in Jocelyn's handwriting. I know her style instantly. That messy little looping J she always uses for capital letters, and the way she dots her I's with tiny circles instead of points. Inside the card is a note from my mom on her personal stationery. Lavender paper. Same set she's had since I was in high school. Short message. Clean and controlled. "We want the whole family there. This is bigger than any disagreement. Love, Mom." I stand at the kitchen counter reading it. Marcus leans over my shoulder. "They didn't invite you back into the family," he says. quietly. They invited you into the photo. And he's not wrong. 63 guests, church friends, neighborhood people, extended family, the whole look like everything is fine setup. Because if I'm missing, people are going to ask questions. And questions are exactly what my mother can't manage. I flip the invitation over. And that's when I see it. Event coordinator, Jocelyn Hale. Marcus scoffs under his breath. She's coordinating a 60-person event, he says. She can't even keep a grocery list straight. Not even a joke, just facts. Every time there's been a family project, a gathering, anything requiring follow-through, Jocelyn goes big on promises and small on delivery.
And someone else always ends up cleaning it up. I stick the invitation on the fridge with a magnet, not because I've decided anything, but because I want it in my face every day. A reminder. What am I actually walking into? And why? 2 weeks out from the party, the pressure starts building. And Ruth keeps me updated. Not gossip, just observation. She's been invited too, and she's watching everything like a nurse watching a patient whose vitals are slipping. She's in over her head, Ruth tells me one night. She booked catering, then went way over budget, $1,500 over. Your mom signed off on it instantly. Your dad wasn't having it, though. First real argument they've had in a long time. I can literally picture it. My dad at the kitchen table, reading glasses down, holding an invoice like it's a bad contract he didn't approve. Ruth keeps going. She called your cousin Megan to help with decorations. Megan said no. She still remembers Jocelyn bailing on her baby shower setup last year. I nod, even though she can't see me. And the slideshow? I ask. Your mom's doing it. Spent 2 days digging through old albums. Silence falls for a second. Then Ruth says it straight. She's drowning, Tiff. She's been in shallow water her whole life. Now she's in deep water, and she doesn't know how to swim without someone pulling her out. That image sticks, because that's exactly how it's always been. Anytime Jocelyn struggled, even a little, someone jumped in and saved her before she had to figure it out herself. But now the water is up to her neck, and nobody's stepping in fast enough. For the first time, I don't feel that old instinct to jump in either. How are you holding up? Ruth asks. I'm good, I say. I'm just watching. That's good, she replies. Watch closely. And she's right, because for the first time, Jocelyn isn't the center of attention. She's the problem everyone is quietly trying to manage, and nobody is rushing to fix it. Then the calls start. Wednesday. But not from my parents, from the outer circle. My Aunt Helen calls first. She lives in Roanoke, shows up for Christmas or emergencies. Tiffany, honey, she says, all soft voice energy. Your mother is really hurting. Can't you just come to the party and be the bigger person? That phrase again. Be the bigger person. Family code for take the hit so nobody else has to deal with it. I keep my voice calm. Aunt Helen, did Mom tell you what she actually said to me? Pause. She said you and your sister had a disagreement. I let that sit. No, I say. She told me to pack my things and leave the house because Jocelyn said my face makes her sick. Longer silence. Well, I'm sure there's more to it, she says finally. Ask her, I reply. Then call me back. She never does. 2 days later, my cousin Derek texts me. Family is family, Tiff. Don't let pride ruin everything. Classic. I type out 3 replies. Delete all of them. And send nothing. Because Derek doesn't actually know the story. He knows the edited version. The one where I'm just missing instead of removed. By Friday, more messages roll in. Same tone, same script. Nobody asks what happened. Nobody asks how I'm doing. They all just want one thing. Can you come to the party so everything looks normal? Nobody called back. Not because they forgot, because they didn't want the conversation. They didn't want truth. They just wanted the show to keep running. Same script, same roles, same comfortable little family performance where nobody questions what's actually going on behind the scenes. Saturday morning, Marcus heads into his office with coffee. I stay at the kitchen table, open my laptop, and pull up the spreadsheet. 37 rows now. 12 years of patterns laid out in black and white. Dates, events, who said what happened after. And I'm not building some legal case. I don't need one. I'm doing something else. I'm finally looking at my family like a broken system at work. Because in project management, when something keeps failing, you don't just fix the latest mess. You step back. You look for the pattern. And when I do that here, it's the same cycle over and over. Jocelyn messes up. Jocelyn breaks down. My mom steps in to defend her. And somehow, I become the problem. Every single time. She gets protected. I absorb it. Reset. Repeat. Twice a year. Sometimes more. For over a decade. And the data doesn't lie. It never does. I scroll through the family group chat. Still active, still untouched. Birthdays, holidays, random updates. But every few months, it spikes. Jocelyn in crisis. My mom in defense mode. Me, silent or blamed. Marcus walks in, tops off his coffee, and glances at my screen. He reads for a long minute. "This isn't a family," he says. "This is a broken project with no owner." I close the laptop. Not because I'm done, because I finally understand enough. I've got the timeline, I've got the pattern, but I still don't have the plan. I don't know what I'm about to do with all this clarity, or if it even changes anything. Then Ruth calls, and everything shifts again. I need to pause here. If you're still with me, it probably means this story hits close, and I get that. Because I'm sitting here looking at a spreadsheet that shows 12 years of a pattern I never saw while I was inside it. If you've ever had that moment where everything suddenly makes sense from a distance, drop it in the comments. And hit like if you want to see what happens at that anniversary party. Ruth doesn't waste time. No small talk, no warm-up, just, "I'm coming to the party. And you should come too." I put my pen down. "Why?" I ask. "Because your mom is telling people you and Marcus are having marriage problems." The room goes quiet. Even the fridge hum feels louder for a second. "She's telling everyone you're having issues in your marriage," Ruth continues. "That's why you've been distant." I freeze. She told Helen, Helen told Patty, Patty told me. A pause. Your mother would rather 60 people think your marriage is falling apart than admit she pushed you out of her house. My grip tightens on the counter. Not sadness. Not shock. Something sharper. Controlled heat. Like pressure building behind glass. So that's the move. I get kicked out. I get ignored for a week. I get turned into a prop for a perfect family photo. And now I'm being rewritten in real time. My absence isn't their fault. It's my marriage issues. I breathe in slow. She can push me out, I say. Steady. She can ignore me. But she does not get to rewrite my life. Ruth is quiet for a second. Then, that's what I needed to hear. We talk for a while longer, and she tells me something that changes everything. She's already asked around. Not to create drama. Just one question. Did Linda ever tell you what actually happened? And the answer? No one knew. Not really. All they had was my mother's version.
The version where I'm difficult, emotional, unreasonable. The convenient story. They deserve the truth, Ruth says. All of them. That night, I sit across from Marcus at the kitchen table. Laptop closed, phone face down. That invitation still stuck to the fridge. I'm going, I say. Marcus looks up. No surprise, no panic. Just calm acceptance. Are you going for them or for you? He asks. For me, I say. My hand rests lightly on my stomach. Still early, still quiet. And for the first time, it matters more than anything else. And for my child, I add. I'm not passing this pattern down. Marcus nods. No arguing. No steering. Just support. What do you need? He asks. I need you there, I say. I need Ruth there. And I need to walk in knowing exactly what I'm going to say when the moment hits. If the moment comes, I'm not forcing anything. But I already know myself. If Jocelyn stands up in front of 60 people and does what she always does, rewrites the whole story like I'm the problem, I'm not sitting there smiling through it. That's the line. That night, I call Ruth. She picks up on the second ring. I'm going, I say. Good, she replies. I'll be near the entrance. You'll see me. I don't plan a speech. I don't rehearse anything in the mirror. I've spent my whole career walking into high-pressure rooms, contractors, engineers, city meetings, staying calm while people argue over facts. So I know how to speak when the room doesn't want to hear the truth. I just need the truth straight. And I've had it memorized since I was 12. 5 days before the party, Jocelyn calls. Not a text, a call. Her voice is different this time. No softness, no emotional tone. Just sharp, controlled, like she's running operations. Mom needs you there, Tiffany. You owe her that. That word, owe, lands exactly how she thinks it will. But I don't bite. I'll be there, I say. No extra words. Silence hits the line. Wait, you will? I said I'll be there. A pause. Okay, good. That's good. She wasn't ready for that answer, because every version of the story she's used to ends with me pushing back, her escalating, and my mom stepping in to fix it. This time, I skipped the whole script, and now she doesn't know how to respond. What time should we expect? I'll handle my own arrival. I cut in. Click. She hangs up, and I can almost feel her confusion through the silence. Meanwhile, Ruth has been doing her own quiet checking, not stirring drama, just asking one simple question to different family members. Did Linda ever tell you what actually happened? And the answers all match. Nobody really knows. Uncle Ray, my dad's brother, straight up told her. Linda said Tiffany was going through a rough patch. That's all we ever heard. A rough patch. That's what they called me getting kicked out of my home. A rough patch. Ruth didn't argue with anyone. She didn't correct them. She just planted the question and let it sit. Like a seed.
Something small, but impossible to ignore once it grows. Jocelyn still wanted me at that party. She just didn't want me there with a voice. Saturday morning, party day. I stand in front of the mirror at 7 a.m. Same face, same eyes, same expression I've seen all month. But something feels settled now, like a construction site finally cleared of scaffolding. Quiet, finished, ready. I pick my outfit carefully. Charcoal blazer, clean lines, no noise. Not flashy, not emotional, just controlled. Marcus is already dressed when I come out. Navy suit, no tie. He hands me water and looks me over. "You sure?" he asks. "I've been sure for a week," I say. I just needed time to understand why. We drive. 35 minutes to Belante's. Almost no talking. Not awkward silence. Just focus. Like two people already done debating the outcome. When we pull into the parking lot, it's half full. I recognize the cars immediately. Family everywhere, like a setup already in motion. Inside, Ruth is already there, seated near the entrance, water glass in front of her, scanning the room like she's watching vitals on a monitor. She sees me through the glass. One nod. That's all. I exhale. Marcus opens the door, and everything starts. My mom sees me first. Her face shifts instantly. Relief, then calculation. She smiles fast, but her eyes lock onto me differently. Like she already knows this version of me isn't the same one she pushed out. The room is dressed in ivory and gold. Round tables, soft lighting, a banner. 40 years of love. The whole setup screams perfect family moment. And right in the middle of it, Jocelyn. Moving fast. Hugging relatives, directing servers, running the room like she's in charge of something she never actually built. Coral dress, heels clicking across the floor like she owns the space. Every step, planned. Every smile, placed. She looks put together, confident, in control, like everything is exactly how she wants it. Then the slideshow starts. A laptop feeds into the projector, and the whole back wall lights up. First photo, my parents' wedding. Then their first apartment. Then Jocelyn as a baby. Jocelyn's first day of school. Jocelyn at graduation. Jocelyn at the beach with mom and dad. Jocelyn blowing out candles while my parents smile like she's the center of their world. I start counting. 46 photos total. I show up in 3. One where I'm barely on the edge of a family shot. One where I'm 6 years old, half hidden behind my dad's leg. And one where my shoulder is literally cut off like I wasn't meant to be in it. 46 photos. 3 appearances. 0 where I'm actually the focus. Some of the older relatives start noticing. Uncle Ray looks over at me, confused. Cousin Megan glances at the screen, then at me, then back again. I just take a sip of water. Smile politely. Calm, still, watching everything. Then my mom steps up to the front. She thanks Jocelyn for putting this beautiful evening together. Not a single mention of me. But I wasn't waiting for my turn. I was waiting for the moment. And it finally comes. After dinner, after dessert, after the plates are cleared, Jocelyn stands up. Someone hands her the mic, one of those wireless ones they use for karaoke nights. She smooths her dress, fixes her hair, smiles like she's been rehearsing this her whole life. I just want to say a few words about the 2 most important people here. The room locks in. Phones down, conversation gone. 63 people giving her exactly what she wants: attention. She starts with my parents. 40 years. That's not just time, that's love, that's commitment. Then she shifts tone. And I just want to say thank you for always believing in me, even when things got hard. Her voice cracks just enough to look real, even though it's controlled, even though it's practiced. She keeps going, even when not everyone in this family made it easy. And her eyes flick to me. Just for a second. But that's all it takes. People notice. Uncle Ray shifts. Aunt Helen looks down. The message is already landing. She continues. But family is about forgiveness. And I'm really glad my sister is here tonight. There it is. She turns me into the forgiven one. Like I was the problem that needed grace. She raises her glass. So we can move past anything. To family. To love. To 40 more years. The room follows. Glasses up. Clinking. Applause. My mom wipes her eyes. My dad raises his glass without even looking at me. And just like that, the story is written in front of everyone. I sit there for a second. Then I set my glass down, untouched. Because she didn't just give a speech. She rewrote reality. Made herself the hero, made me the issue. And now everyone in this room is carrying her version of the story. She sits, smiles, hugs start happening, whispers, back pats. My mom leaning into her like she just saved the family. And I realize something very clearly. If I stay quiet, that version becomes the truth forever. So I stand up. I don't grab the mic. I don't need it. The room is close enough. And my voice has never had trouble carrying when it matters. I'd like to add something to that toast, I say. 63 heads turn. My mom's hand freezes mid-hug. My dad stops halfway through his drink. Jocelyn looks up at me like she already knows what's coming, and she doesn't like it. Jocelyn said family is about forgiveness, I continue. And I agree. My tone is steady, controlled, work mode steady. But forgiveness without honesty isn't forgiveness. It's just silence. The room shifts. You can feel it. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes loud. I keep going. 3 weeks ago, my own mother told me to pack my things and leave her house. A pause. No discussion, no questions. Because my sister said seeing my face makes her sick. That lands. Hard. You can see it in people's faces now. Confusion, shock, recalculating everything they just heard. Some of you were told I left because of marriage problems. That's not true. I look across the room. I was removed from my parents' home. Then I go straight into it. Because it was easier to push me out than to hold Jocelyn accountable for $4,200 charged to my parents' credit card for personal spending she called a business. Jocelyn's face goes pale. My mom starts to rise. Tiffany, this is not the place. You chose the place, I cut in, calm but firm. You chose a room full of people instead of one honest conversation with your daughter. Silence. Heavy silence. Not awkward. Focused. Listening. And I finish with the truth no one expected. I'm not here to ruin your anniversary. I'm here because this is the first time anyone in this family is hearing the full story.
I don't raise my voice. I don't point fingers. I just stand there with my hands at my sides and speak like I'm walking through a project review. Clear, structured, no drama. When I was 12, I say, I got moved into the basement so my sister could have my room. A pause. When I was 22, my parents left my college graduation early because Jocelyn said she had a headache. Another pause. When I was 28, I called my mom after getting a promotion I worked 6 years for, and she told me Jocelyn was upset and she'd call me back. I let it sit. Let the room feel it. Then I continue. Every time Jocelyn struggled, I got blamed for it. Every time I succeeded, it got brushed off. And every time I tried to say something, I was told I was too sensitive. The room is dead quiet. Then Ruth stands up. No rush, no panic. Just calm, steady movement, like someone who's seen this exact pattern before. She speaks with that nurse-level control. I've seen this before, she says. Same pattern, different generation. Our mother did it to Linda and me, and now Linda has done it to Tiffany and Jocelyn. The entire room shifts. All eyes go to my mom. Her face goes pale. She opens her mouth, closes it again. My dad just stares at his plate like it's the safest place in the world. From another table, Uncle Ray speaks up. Low voice, firm tone. Is that true, Linda? You kicked her out? No answer. My mom doesn't respond. She looks at Jocelyn instead. Jocelyn looks down. And just like that, 63 people are waiting on a truth no one wants to say out loud. I speak again. I didn't come here for revenge. I came here because everyone in this room deserved to know what they were actually toasting tonight. That's when Jocelyn stands up. Her chair scrapes loud across the floor. Same sound as that night she stormed off. But this time, no hallway to disappear into. No bedroom to hide in. No rescue coming. She turns, voice shaking. You're lying. Not her usual fake emotional tone. This one's real. Raw. You always lie about me. But nobody jumps in. Nobody defends her. Nobody tries to smooth it over. The room just holds. My mom tries to step in. This is a family matter. Uncle Ray cuts her off instantly. Then why is it in front of 60 people, Linda? Silence again. Jocelyn looks around the room one last time. She's searching for someone. Anyone. A lifeline. A soft face. A rescue. There isn't one. No backup. No escape. She grabs her clutch. Walks toward the door. Her heels hit the floor slower now. Less confident. Unsteady. She doesn't look back. My mom follows right behind her. And the door shuts. Just like that. I stay standing for a few seconds, then sit back down. Marcus puts a hand on my knee under the table. No words, just support. My dad hasn't moved. Still sitting there. Still watching the room like he doesn't know what version of himself he's allowed to be anymore. For 34 years, he always followed my mom out of every conflict. Every time. Not this time. And that silence says more than anything else tonight. Later, Ruth fills me in. Parking lot. After we left. My mom was outside near the catering van, gripping Jocelyn's arm. Not gently. Tight. You ruined everything, she's saying. I told you to handle it. Jocelyn pulls away.
Me? You're the one who told everyone she makes you sick. Ruth steps in. Not emotionally. Not loud. Just steady. Linda, she says, you're doing it again. My mom snaps at her. Stay out of this. Ruth doesn't move. I stayed out of it for 30 years, she says. That was the mistake. Then she looks at Jocelyn. Direct. No filter. This is what happened to me too. Our mother picked Linda every time, and now Linda is repeating it. Jocelyn freezes, and Ruth says the part that lands hardest. She doesn't protect you because you're right. She protects you because she needs you to stay in that role. The moment you stop needing her, she's got nothing left. Ruth didn't say it angry. She said it like a realization, like something finally clicking into place after years of confusion. My mom didn't respond, not a word. Ruth later told me her hands were shaking, but not from rage, from recognition. That quiet moment when someone holds up a mirror and you can't unsee what's in it. Jocelyn looked at her mom, then just walked to her car alone. No big exit, no drama. Just gone. Back inside, the energy in the room had already shifted. The crowd thinned out fast. Some people slipped out quietly during the chaos. Others just stood there like they didn't know what version of family dinner they were supposed to be in anymore. The cake was still untouched. The slideshow shut off. Someone had pulled the plug. Maybe mercy, maybe shock. I ended up by the window, finishing a glass of water, just sitting with it all. That's when my dad finally sat down across from me. No small talk, no warm-up. He just dropped into the chair like a man who'd been carrying something too heavy for too long. Silence first. Full minute. I let it sit. He needed it. Then he spoke. I knew, he said. Low voice. Rough. Controlled. Not confident. Just honest. I always knew it wasn't fair. I looked at him. Then why didn't you say anything? He rubbed his face. The same exact motion I've seen my whole life. The night I was moved to the basement. My graduation. Every time something broke. And he chose silence instead of stepping in. Because it was easier, he said finally. Easier than fighting your mother. And I chose easy. Every time. His eyes were glassy. Not full-on crying. Just heavy. Like a lifetime of avoidance finally settling in all at once. I'm not asking you to forgive me, he added. I'm just telling you I failed. And I should have said this when you were 12. I just sat there looking at him. The man who almost spoke up, but didn't. I hear you, Dad, I said. But hearing it doesn't fix it. He nodded. No defense. No excuses. Just acceptance. And somehow, that mattered. I love you, I said quietly, but I can't rebuild something on a foundation that's already cracked because of choices you made. That hit him, but he didn't argue. He just sat with it. And honestly, that silence was the first real thing between us in years. After the party, everything started moving differently. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing, but for once, it wasn't performance calls. It was real conversations. Cousin Megan texted, 3 photos, Tiff. That's it. I'm so sorry I never spoke up. Uncle Ray called. I've known your mom a long time. I should have questioned more. 2 of my dad's old friends even reached out to Marcus. They didn't say much, just, your wife's got guts, respect. Then Aunt Helen called again, but this time her voice wasn't sharp. It was small. I asked your mother what happened, she said. She didn't deny it. She just went quiet. A pause. I shouldn't have told you to be the bigger person. I didn't know. 4 people in a week. All seeing the same pattern, just finally willing to name it. It didn't fix the past, but it changed the silence. Jocelyn didn't call. My mom didn't call. Then 9 days later, an email came in. From Jocelyn. 2 lines. Short. Messy. Real. I don't know who I am without this family protecting me. I hate you for making me see that. I read it 3 times. I didn't reply. But I recognized something immediately. Not a performance. Not a role. Just truth. Raw and unfiltered. For the first time, she wasn't acting. She was standing in the wreckage of the only system she ever knew. And it wasn't an apology, but it was real. That same Sunday, I wrote my own email. Marcus was outside mowing the lawn. The house smelled like the lavender candle on the counter. And for the first time in a long time, my hands weren't shaking.
I sent it to both my parents. Not a text, not a call, an email. Because I needed it on record. And because some things deserve full sentences, not emotional fragments and interrupted conversations. Mom, Dad, I love you. And because I love you, here's what has to change. 3 boundaries, not threats, conditions. First, I will not be in the same room as Jocelyn unless she directly acknowledges what she said and what it caused. No soft versions, no vague apologies, real accountability. Second, my life will not be discussed with extended family unless I'm part of the conversation. No more rewriting my story behind my back. Third, any contact going forward respects those boundaries. No exceptions. If you cross those lines, I'm out. No back and forth, no extra warnings. I type it exactly like that. Then I add, this isn't punishment. This is protection. For me, for Marcus, and for the baby I'm carrying. I let it sit on the screen for a long moment. My hands don't move. Because this isn't just a message anymore. It's a line in the sand. I'm 12 weeks pregnant. And yeah, they're finding out through an email about boundaries. Not the cute family announcement I once pictured. Not smiles or phone calls or happy tears. But real life doesn't always give you a perfect script. And honestly, this version is the only honest one. I'm not doing this to guilt anyone. Not to manipulate, not to provoke a reaction. I'm doing it because the stakes are real now. This isn't just about me anymore. So I hit send, close the laptop, and step outside. Marcus cuts the lawnmower the second he sees me. Sent? He asks. Sent. He just nods. No drama, no overthinking, just understanding. 3 months later, the nursery is ready. Soft, pale green walls. Marcus picked the color after reading somewhere it helps babies stay calm. The crib is built. A mobile hangs above it, tiny wooden birds slowly spinning whenever the air moves. I'm 16 weeks along now, showing, feeling it all settle into place. Morning sickness faded into something lighter, more like a constant reminder than a storm. Ruth comes over every Saturday. She brings food, casseroles, advice nobody asked for, but somehow always needs saying, and I love it. She sits at our kitchen table like she's always belonged there, telling stories from her nursing days, babies delivered, families formed, families breaking, families rebuilding, real life stuff, not filtered, not staged. She's the family I should have had all along. My dad calls every Wednesday now. Short calls, 5, maybe 10 minutes. He asks about the baby, about Marcus, about me. He never brings up my mom, and I don't either. We're rebuilding something small, carefully, piece by piece, like fixing something fragile that can't handle force. My mom sends a card eventually. No return address, but I'd recognize her handwriting anywhere. Inside, generic store-bought congratulations, and underneath it, in her teacher-style script, I'm trying. 2 words. Not enough. Not even close. But still, more than silence. Jocelyn doesn't reach out. Nothing. No message. No call.
just absence. And I've learned something important about silence. Not all silence means the same thing. Some is punishment, some is avoidance, some is processing. I choose to believe hers is still the third kind. I don't need them perfect. I need them honest. And honesty takes time. I stand in the nursery later that day. Everything is finished. Paint dry, crib ready. Windows slightly open, letting in a soft May breeze. The little wooden birds above the crib spin slowly with it. Marcus comes up behind me. His hand rests on my shoulder. Grounded, steady, real. This room doesn't carry the past, I say quietly. No roles, no expectations, just space. He doesn't answer. He doesn't need to. I glance toward the closet. On the top shelf sits the gray duffel bag, same one I packed in 4 minutes that night. 11 pounds of everything I could carry when I walked away. I kept it, washed it, folded it, not because I need it anymore, but because it's proof of where I came from. There was a version of me who stayed quiet, who accepted less, who kept hoping effort would earn love. She showed up anyway. She worked harder anyway. She waited anyway.
But that version of me doesn't live here anymore. She's part of the history, not the future. Because the truth is, I was never too much. I was just never properly seen. And silence finally showed me that. I didn't leave that house broken. I left it awake. And now everything is different. This is the new beginning. No more performing. No more earning a place. Just truth. Just boundaries. Just life. Finally lived on my terms. And if you were in that room, what would you have done? Would you have spoken up or stayed quiet? There's no right answer, just the one you can live with. If this story hit you, pass it on to someone who needs to hear it, because sometimes the loudest truth is the one that was quiet for too long.
Now, I want to hear from you. If you were in that room, would you have spoken up or would you have stayed quiet? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story hit you, if it made you think or reminded you of something real in your own life, take a second to support the channel. Hit that like button, subscribe for more real, powerful stories like this, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes the story someone else lived is exactly the one you needed to understand your own.